So I'm up here tonight representing the category for Best Man. So I just wanted to thank all the other nominees for the honor and privilege that's a speech. Apply ointment to infected area. Dan, I'll send that for you.
That's awesome.
Okay. All right, here we go. I'll give that to you later. Let's go through that cream I gave you. Fornication. Wait, I'm sorry. For an occasion such as this, I'd like to thank you all for being here, for being part of this wonderful day, Danny and Jen's wedding. While we're at thank yous, I also like to thank Mr. and Mrs. White for a fantastic rehearsal dinner. We had a great time at El Torito and the great Karnak and all that. It was really fantastic. We had a really wonderful time. And I would like to thank Mr. and Mrs. Childs for this spectacular evening as well. And Lord only knows how much they had to go through for each of them to get us to this day as well. So let's give them another hand. Okay, a wise man once said that the best man speech should last about as long as it takes for the groom to make love. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. It's really hard. This is the first time, if you didn't know, I'll just put it out there, first time I've been a best man. I don't mind public speaking, I enjoy it very much, but I've never given a best man speech, so I spent some time trying to do some research. I looked on the internet. In fact, I was looking a few weeks ago for a couple of hours. I found some really great stuff, and then I realized I'm supposed to be looking for speech ideas. So after I got all the pop-up windows closed, I found some pretty good ideas. Okay, Danny is a warm, caring, dedicated, smart, good-looking. Danny, I can't read your writing. I'm going to have to ditch that card. I'm sorry. So Danny was born January the 26th of 1964. This was Sunday. And I tried to link this, of course, to some major historical event, some big thing that happened, but it appears nothing interesting happened that day. Although I'm told that the nursing staff at the hospital still refers to that day as Ugly Sunday. Yeah, in fact, Danny's mother didn't start having morning sickness till after he was born. Tell me what my mom did later. Which leads me to the question of how did Danny get such a wonderful woman such as Jen? Jen is wonderful. She's smart, sweet, charming, funny. She's personable, warm, and welcoming. And she looks absolutely beautiful tonight, doesn't she? Jen was born on June 27, 1983. Which is a 19-year difference for those of you keeping score. I did find something fun about when Jen was born during that year. That's when McDonald's introduced the McNugget for the first time. Which is kind of ironic because when she's secretary of the meeting we used to always go, cheep, 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 cheep. One thing that was kind of cool though, you know how important music is to me, so I did look up what was the top song on the Billboard Top 10 during the week when each of you were born. And it was kind of ironic, because when Danny was first born, because we all know you were born again, those of us. This was the song. It was the Beatles. Now for Jen, it was a little bit more interesting. It was the 80s, and guess what it was? Now really, I'm not supposed to talk talk about Jen. That's what I was kind of instructed in the Best Man instructions. So we're not going to be able to talk about that. Or this. Jen, I remember this. I can use that one later. All right, moving onward. There's a lot here, Jen, we're not going to talk about. But I do remember when I first met Jen. Jen came into, well, I knew her when she first came back into a program. And I remember the very first time I met her, and she did a little reading. And I remember she kind of, she said, she actually won me over right there. I said to her, boy, you read good. To which she promptly replied, I read well, it's well, you can't use good, it's not good, it's well. So now every time she reads, you read good, Jan. You can read it. That's what I say. And then it was probably sometime after that, not too long, and I remember sitting down at the end on a Tuesday night candlelight, and she was still kind of new, and I remember her talking about having feelings for somebody, to which I promptly replied, from Danny's training, oh, you got to be careful, you don't want to get involved with someone too quick, because, you know, you got to really get a foundation, you just, don't be stupid. By the end of the meeting, I found out the person was Danny, to which I promptly replied, oh, just take your time, be careful, and yeah. I kind of felt like, you know, I didn't really know, but it's probably about a week later, Danny and I actually had arranged to go out to Salt Creek Grill. I don't know if you remember this, Danny. And Jen and him had just gone, this is January, and they had just gone water skiing in January. Which is crazy enough as it is. But what was interesting to me is when Danny started to talk about Jen, you could tell right away. You know that look? That like starry-eyed, I ride the short bus look? It's like, oh my God, guys, it's really beautiful. And so, as time went on, you know, I think that they were both trying to be really careful about it because they cared a lot about each other. And they just couldn't deny that the love that they had for each other. And it was pretty apparent to all of us that we would eventually get to this day. I think from the very beginning it was really kind of something that was nice. It was wonderful to watch them grow. I'm going to pause for a moment here and tell you a little bit about why Danny means so much to me. My sobriety date's July 30th of 2005, and Danny is my sponsor, in addition to being my very best friend. And when I came into the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous, I was broken and shattered completely. And Danny was the one man who kind of took me aside and spoke my language. And I often share this at meetings, that this meant so much not only to me, but to my parents, to my family, because in essence, Danny is one of the guys who helped save my life. I was trying to think of a way to say that the right way, and the closest thing I could come up with is that Danny is the instrument that God played to speak to my heart and bring me back to Him. And for that, I love you. And I know I speak for everyone here in saying how happy we are to see them here on this day and to have watched them grow together, and how excited we are for your future. Yeah. You can applaud. It's good. And then I'll kind of end it up with this. We have this wonderful quote that we talk about a lot in our program, and you've probably all heard it, whether you're in AA or not, which is this quote that says from Shakespeare, "All the world's a stage, all the men and women merely players." Now, that quote also comes from the same play where you hear things like getting too much of a good thing and stuff like that. And, most of you don't know this, but I took a Shakespeare course, and I did a little course looking up for Shakespeare love quotes when I was doing the best man speech. But from that very same play, which is called As You Like It, in scene 5, actually scene 2 of Act 5, there's a wonderful quote which I think applies very much to Danny and Jen. So I'm going to read that to you. No sooner met, but they looked. No sooner looked, but they loved. No sooner loved, but they sighed. Ah. No sooner sighed, but they asked one another the reason. No sooner knew the reason, but they sought the remedy. And in these degrees have they made a pair of stairs to marriage. So I ask you, ladies and gentlemen, to please raise a glass with me in honor of the journey that it took for each of them and for every single one of us to get here to this very day. Oh, I'm going to do it. Of how God has touched their lives and opened their hearts. I didn't do that. Bam! That was God. Bam! So you hear that? He's here. And for the love that they share with each other. This is for the two of you. May your love and your life together be extraordinary. For in my very humble opinion, you are living proof that dreams really do come true. God bless you. I love you.
Come on, toast it around.